Taxiway, that's actually a closed runway, and that airplane doesn't take a whole lot of runway for taking off. I've got one similar to that, a little older than those. Mine only has 200 horsepower. The blue and white one's got 260 horsepower, and the red one has 400 horsepower, so they take off pretty quickly, and they're going to do it right on that closed runway that they're sitting on right now. So it's not going to take too long. As soon as we get everything cleared away and they get the clearance for takeoff from our air boss David Schultz, he's going to tell them, "Get moving, will ya?" Tail's already up. Now they're going to get up to about 100, not quite, about 85, and off they go, lifting right into close two-ship formation right away. They'll maintain that position as they climb on up to an altitude of about 6,000 feet. They will re-enter the demonstration zone at 6,000 feet. We'll be able to tell that because the smoke system is going to come on Dan McClung's red aircraft. It's called the Talon Eagle. It is a Kristen Eagle aircraft. It's one of only 4 that were ever built. 3 of them were flown by an aerobatic team several years ago called the Eagles. Those aircraft are now hanging in a museum somewhere in the Smithsonian. The smoke you see is from Dan McClung's airplane. He's taking a bead on his partner. He's going to be flying around him. You're going to watch in a second here. Okay, Billy has it upside down. He started the spin. We'll see his smoke system come on in just a moment. Now, he is looking out the top of his canopy and he is seeing the ground. So he stops doing that. He looks out over the nose of the airplane because that tells him exactly which direction it is rotating. This is the Red Eagle Airsports team, and this is called the Towering Centrifuge. Down and down and down he comes. That's part of the characteristics of the inverted flat spin. Now it has gone straight. You can see how the smoke trail is now straight. He's kicked it out. And here comes Dan McClung diving right down behind him. They're going to continue in these barrel rolls. And at the right-hand side of the demonstration zone, you will see them in high G turns, putting this formation back side by side once again, just inches apart. The Red Eagle Airsports team, proudly sponsored by PPG Aerospace, where smart solutions take flight. And Dan using that 400 horsepower to pull right in next to his partner. Back on the power, match that speed. That's a rejoin for you. Dan McClung, team leader and pilot of the Red Eagle, the Talon Eagle, got his start flying airplanes for the United States Navy. It is over 38 years of professional flying. In 21 years of active duty and reserve flying, he accumulated nearly 400 day and night traps, that's carrier landings, in the A-7 Corsair II and the A-4 Skyhawk. Great big welded wing barrel roll right in show center. That's close formation. Dan retired after 25 years of airline flying as a Boeing 767 captain. Dan's dream is to make everyone watching his performance feel the fun, excitement, and passion that he has for flying and for life. Rolling reverse, kind of a half-Cuban 8 as they re-enter from the right. They're going to go to show center, pull back on the sticks, and pull it right on up over the top, and a great big inside or barnstormer smoke. Times the force of gravity coming on a 6G pull at the bottom of the loop as they come up over the top of the second inside loop. Billy Werth is leading the flight right now. He grew up in an Air Force family. He's been around airplanes all his life. Keep your cameras on them right now because they're climbing straight vertically. At the top of this, as the airspeed drops almost to zero, they kick in the left rudder and pivot the aircraft around themselves in the hammerhead turn. Half roll and separating away. They're going to make some turns to head back toward each other. Head-on passes, their closure rate is going to be over 400 miles an hour. Okay, we're going to bring up the radio once again. We're going to listen, and we'll listen to Dan McClung calling the snaps and the brakes as they head toward each other. They just said contact, they see each other. Here they come. Let's watch. They'll pull the nose on them, turn it around quickly, and come on down. Dan is going to call climbing. Coming down 12. On the top. On the bar. Pulling down. Looking for each other once again. Inverted. Ready now. There they go. Now, when they do that, yeah, thank you. When they do that, they are watching. Now, the wind is blowing right across the runway. So as they're doing that, they're watching that line. That aircraft is actually sliding toward the other aircraft. The good news is, the one coming this way is sliding away also. Very, very tricky maneuver to get that one right. Okay. Outbound. Dan McClung doing some solo aerobatics for you. Real tiny little loop coming up, just pivots on around in one of the world's tiniest loops. And smoke system on diving back in from the right. Here comes Billy Werth. Here's a different kind of a loop for you. He's pulling back on the stick, on up. He goes through the vertical, on up over the top, and watch this. Stick forward, rudder in. He tumbles off the top of that avalanche, or loop with a roll on top. He's got lots of energy. Let's see if he continues this vertical climb. Now, a couple of snaps on the way up, a little shoulder roll as it continues to just roll and roll. Looks like it's out of control, but it's not. Enters an upright spin for about 3/4 of a turn. Stops precisely on heading away from you. He'll turn around very low and very tightly. I thought he'd go around the trees this time, trying very carefully to keep it out of the trees as he turns the airplane around in this high G turn. Because even though he's got a high rate of energy right now, he's going to pull the nose on up, pull the power back, kill that airspeed with a snap roll, and fly slowly on its side as his partner comes ripping out of the trees. Right up underneath him is Dan McClung. Dan is going to use all that speed and energy to climb vertically. Now watch carefully. He's using the flight controls to roll the airplane around that vertical flight. But now the engine is twisting the Eagle around itself. That's the torque roll. The torque of the engine is twisting the airplane around itself. As he flies backwards, it speeds up about 70 miles an hour backwards in the torque roll. He calls that the torqued Eagle. Couple of snap rolls, and now he's going to climb straight vertically in a maneuver that he calls the top coat this in honor of Desothane paint. PRC DeSoto that makes this wonderful glistening paint on these beautiful airplanes. Because that's the business that PPG is in, his proud sponsors. Eagle Airsports, in their 14th year of sponsorship by PPG Aerospace, where smart solutions take flight. Here comes Dan, very, very quickly from the left, rolling it into knife edge flight, and you see PPG Aerospace proudly painted on the bottom of the lower wing. Now, he's going to roll into a very, very tight turn, and Billy Werth is going to join up on him. Rolling and rolling and rolling and picking up the position of Billy Werth. He'll pull right in. Now watch carefully as they get into two-ship formation position once again. There's a simultaneous roll around each other in the Red Eagle roller. Now I'm going to try to talk to Dan once again on the radio, see if I can get a hold of him. He seems to be just a little busy right now. Hey Dan, this is Larry. Can you read me?
Loud and clear, Larry. How about me? Got you loud and clear also. Boy, that looks great up there. Blue skies, red airplane, white smoke. Hey, man, that's patriotic. Doesn't get much better than this, does it, Larry? Now, once again, on behalf of our great sponsor, PPG Aerospace, and all the Red Eagles, what a sincere pleasure it is to be here in Millville. I'd like to thank all the people here in the Millville area that have made us feel like home while we're here. Once again, all the volunteers. Don't forget, this weekend's Memorial Weekend. Let us not forget the men and women that went before us to defend our freedom. We never take it for granted. Billy and I are both veterans of the Navy and the Air Force. We'd just like to say thank you for all you've done for protecting us, protecting this country. God bless you all. Bid you adieu. God bless America. We're the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, ready now.
And don't forget that the land of the free because of the brave. Here they come from the left. Smoke system's on. You will notice that Dan McClung is upside down. He's in position. They're back in two-ship formation. When they get to show center, Dan is going to push forward on the stick. It's going to push that nose on up into the sky. Billy Werth pulling back on the stick of his airplane to maintain that close two-ship formation position. Away they go, away from each other. As they reposition themselves to come back toward each other once again, let me tell you a little bit about their sponsors, PPG Aerospace. It's an award-winning aviation company that is the Aerospace Products and Services Division of PPG Industries. They are the leading global producer, distributor, and supplier of aerospace coatings, sealants, packaging, and application systems. Crisscrossing at show center, they go on up into the vertical. Looking out to take their position away from each other and diving away from the crowd. You saw those simultaneous hammerheads once before. In this maneuver, the airspeed drops almost to zero. Notice that Dan has rolled his. They will be turning into each other in the hammerhead turns. Away from each other, my mistake. But tumbling out of the top of that, putting it into a 1.5, 2-turn spin right out the top of the hammerhead turn. The Red Eagle team is honored to represent all 7 application service centers, or ASCs, across North and South America, and now Asia, as the Red Eagle team, the first American Airshow performance team to fly in Airshow, China last year in Shanghai, China, mainland China. And the Red Eagle team is the first one to go there. Used to live there for 2 or 3 years. Great place. Here comes Dan McClung in from the left. Now he is actually going to get lots of energy and pull the aircraft up into a vertical position because he's got a couple of tumbles for you before he rolls the aircraft into a vertical position and holds it there and hovers like a helicopter. Meanwhile, here comes his partner slashing across the skies. The Red Eagle Airsports team. They're going to rejoin the formation, come back in and enter a tuck under brake. Normally when aircraft come in to land, they'll head right up over they'll make an initial approach to the runway, quickly pull the nose on up into a 180-degree turn. Like in World War II, that's the way they used to approach the field because the airplane might be shot up, might have an engine problem. They could lose the engine from that point and glide all the way back down to the runway and land. Now, no need to really do that today, except having done a lot of those, I can tell you, it's a lot of fun. That's the way to approach an airfield. Dive down toward the end, get a lot of speed, pull it on up, bring it on around, and set up for the landing now. They're going to approach, there they go, smoke systems are on. They're at a height of about 100 feet. See, when you get down that low, it's not altitude anymore, it's height, and they're below 100 feet. They're about 50 feet as they're approaching the brake for the tuck under brake. Beautifully done. Rolling away and away from each other. They'll take up that interval, and they'll continue that on around to land. Red Eagle Airsports team is on Facebook. You can friend them if you haven't already. I hope that you will. There's also lots of videos on the Red Eagles YouTube channel. So I hope you check them out. In addition to PPG Aerospace, the company that was chosen to paint the United States Air Force Thunderbird aircraft, we'd also like to thank our associate sponsors for making the Red Eagle team a successful entertainment platform. That's thanks to Pen Yan Aero, makers of quality aircraft engines. Thanks to MT Propeller, the winner's choice for performance propellers. Thanks to Precision Aeromotive for the best in fuel management systems. Thanks to Champion Aerospace, our Eagles rely on quality filters and spark plugs from Champion Aerospace. Thanks to Oregon Aero, when comfort matters in our seats and helmets. And thanks to Vidalo sunglasses. If you go to vidalo.com and enter Red Eagles, you'll get 25% off the price of your Vidalo sunglasses. So we hope you'll do that. Dan McClung rolling out on the runway. I expect to see Billy Werth touching down momentarily. Years, PPG Aerospace has been sponsoring the Red Eagle Airsports team at air shows all across America and now in mainland China as well. The Philadelphia Service Center, the folks who are making it possible for the Red Eagles to be here at Millville, and we are glad that they are here. What about you? You happy that the Red Eagle team was here?